What up, Dokkaners? We got some big news. Renewal of collection of epic battles. You guys might remember, this is an ancient relic of the past. A lot of you actually might not even know about this event because this event was around, God, 6 years ago at this point. August 26th, 2021. So 5 years ago, this event came out. And the last update was March 12th, 2023. This is on the global side. So for JP, it was even earlier because this at the time, JP and Global were on different timelines. So JP was 6 months ahead. So actually they finished this probably in 2022. So it's been a long time since either version has seen this event. Newer players have no clue what this is. Older players might remember. Comment down below if you guys were around when this came out. Because actually this was a pretty difficult event when it first came out. I even have a video back in the day.
Is this the toughest event ever?
First try collection of epic battles. I mean, I liked it. It was pretty fun. This was basically a way to revisit the arcs of Z, or I guess just the arcs in general. I don't know what their plan was because it was very short-lived. This is one of those things where they started it and then just stopped it. So you got to experience the story of, well, not the story, but you got to experience the fights of the Namek arc through the heroes and through the villains. You first fought the heroes. There was a little bit of variation where you could choose the second fight, either the nerds here, or you could just fight Piccolo in a 1v1 with two forms. But then after that, it just went back to a direct 1v1 sort of thing. And then after the heroes, you fought the villains for Namek Saga. So you had all these boys. You either chose Dodoria and Zarbon, or you chose Dodoria and then, or Zarbon and then Super Zarbon, and then you went back to the 1v1, Ginyu and then Frieza. And then we move on to the Cell arc, the Android Cell Saga, starting with the heroes, ending with Gohan, and starting with the villains, starting with the Mecha Frieza all the way to Cell. And then it just stopped. But there were a lot of stones that you could gain from it. So before we talk about anything, for those of you who have never done this event, and for newer players who are just checking this out for the first time, I would highly recommend that you guys try to go in and get as much of this done as possible. These events are 5 to 3 years old. So in terms of the challenge level that they present compared to newer events, it's night and day. These are going to be far more doable than the events that you're maybe accustomed to seeing nowadays. You know what? For example, let's actually take a look at this. Let's take a look at the, so what is the missions? What's the timestamp? August 21st or August 2021, September 2020. So this is for worldwide 2021. This is for the Namek Saga celebration, actually. And then this is during March 12th, 2023. So that's Saiyan Day. What the hell's going on during 2023? Okay, so let's take a look at stage 2. Stage 2's final boss. Okay, stage 2. The final boss, Frieza, 14 million health, 150,000 attack, 420,000 damage on the super. Okay, so for some perspective, that is a 5-year-old event, but the highest level difficulty for that. Let's take a look at something that we are getting these days. Let's take a look at, let's take a look at Red Zone. That's a little bit old. Okay, Red Zone. It's not Red Zone DLC, just Red Zone. Let's take a look at the oldest event, the very first event. Its original form came out during the 7th anniversary. So relative to that, it would have been 2 years earlier. Okay, so this is the first stage. What are we looking at here? 23.5 million, 500,000, 200,000 attack. Look at the difference. Look at the difference. So this event, what I'm trying to say is this is essentially comparable to the very first stage of Red Zone. So this is far more doable than you might expect. Newer players. This is mainly for newer players that I'm saying this. There's a lot of stones to be gained because along with the 4 stones that you get for clearing these stages, there's a lot of missions. 5 stones for each one. Clear the stage once. Each stage has several category-based missions, 6 Namek Saga, 6 full power, 6 sworn enemies. They're all specified. This doesn't give any stones. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, I'm assuming times 4. So 16. Yes. 16 5-stone missions. That's 80 stones. 80 plus 4, 84. This is an event renewal that's happening here. A renewal means they're bringing it back essentially with what it already had. So let's go ahead and read this. The ongoing event, challenge event, Collection of Epic Battles, will be discontinued on August 20th and be revamped. You've got less than a week. Shouldn't take you too long. This isn't one of those like time consuming things. It's very fast. Actually, you know what? It might be a little annoying to get all the missions done, but it's worth it. Please note that after the event renewal, you will be unable to attempt the current collection of epic battles and the missions related to it. In addition, the following rewards can be obtained through missions that will be added at a later date following the renewal. So these are all of the things that you will still be able to get afterwards. So if you're not able to get to these for whatever reason, you can get them later. Now, while we are talking about this event as it's being renewed, and I'm talking mainly about the stone aspect, let's not forget what is involved in these events. As you saw, it was only Namek and Cell arc. And look at the rewards here. Support memory, power level 530,000, that's Frieza. Warrior awakened through Fury, that's Super Saiyan Goku. Declaration of the Cell games, I think you can figure out who that is. Gift from Piccolo is Piccolo giving Gohan his threads. Titles, Fierce Battle on Planet Namek, I wonder what arc that is. Nightmare on Planet Namek, You'll pay for this, you filthy insects. I'm very hungry. I'm very angry. I am a little hungry. Looming Terror, that's Cell. Battle to change the future, that's Cell. So it's very clearly starting with Namek and Cell. Now, when I first saw this, I thought that they would start with Saiyan Saga and work their way here. I don't think there's any, I think it's mere coincidence that we have it ordered this way, where we've got Frieza and Cell on this side and Vegeta and Buu on this side. I don't think that that was intentional at all. But I do wonder why they started with Namek Saga and not with Saiyan Saga, and why it was never able to be fully realized. Like, I just genuinely wonder. I'm not a developer, so I couldn't venture a guess. This doesn't seem like it would be too difficult, considering these gacha games, especially these old school ones, repurpose so many assets. It doesn't seem like it would be that difficult to just string a bunch of Saiyan Saga stuff together to make that a thing. Maybe there weren't enough like assets for it. I don't know. It's just weird. But if they're renewing it, then that would mean that the Namek arc and the Cell arc would be coming back first and foremost with those missions and everything. And what they would be doing is they would simply be scaling up the numbers to fit a more appropriate time. 5.5 million health is a drop in the ocean now, right? That is nothing. So like, if this were to be renewed, this would probably have to be something more along the lines of like 400,000 health, or sorry, 400 million. Yeah, right? Something like that. The damage needs to be scaled up considerably. The attack and defense, maybe the damage reduction, maybe the perks need to be changed, you know? Like, a lot of things need to be tweaked for this event to be remotely relevant right now. Newer players wouldn't mind the way that it is currently, but you know, we want these events to be different, varied, and challenging. Like, ultimately, Dokkan is in a good place when it has a bunch of different challenge content with different things that demand different things, that asks you to do different things. That's what I want. So I want this to be a unique, new, fresh, different challenge, and I'm hoping that this renewal will do that. And bringing back Namek Saga and the Cell Saga, especially the fact that they're announcing this now, leads me to believe that this has to have something to do with GDC. It has to. And this does retroactively further contextualize the first hint that we got. Remember in my previous video when we were talking about that, we first started by kind of like looking at it through the lens of the 3 Z arcs theory that people were saying. But as we went through the video, we kind of leaned in on it being Namek and Cell Saga, because there are a lot of parallels between the two of them. And I don't even think I mentioned this, but shout out to one of you guys in the comments. You pointed out the fact that this is very much a raccoon pose right here. But overall, most of these things just tie into Namek and Cell. And so now with this, I mean, that's a pretty big step in that direction. I'm not going to go ahead and say that that 100% confirms it. This could still be a triple Z arc sort of thing, but it just seems like it would be more catered to Namek and Cell. And like I said before, Majin Buu Saga saw considerable upgrades this year so far. Saiyan Saga had considerable upgrades so far. In fact, Saiyan Saga just got even more with this recent World Tournament. The new AGL Kid Gohan TUR, pretty busted, but a new addition for Saiyan Saga nonetheless. Cell Saga, nothing. Namek Saga, mum's the word. In spite of the fact that we had an entire Dokkan Frontier for it, we had nothing regarding Namek Saga. So I think that I think that this very heavily implies it, because otherwise they wouldn't be doing this now. They could have waited another 2 years. Like, it's very interesting that of all the times to bring this back, it's happening now. But we'll see. I've announced a maintenance happening August 20th at 7 p.m., 2 hours after that day's global reset for 5 hours. This is obviously to kick off the countdown week, because that is when GDC countdown starts. And this is for the implementation of update 6.5.0. That is the update that's going to include the two things that they talked about in the Transcendent Producers Letter video, the Tanabata video. the optimized team building selection thing, and the removal of one step in the clash like character choices. So along with that, they will also be doing the collection of epic battles revamp. So 6 days, less than 6 days and counting, get all of those dragon stones, whatever you can. Newer players, if it is difficult, skip and go to the next one. First thing you should try to do, clear every stage once. That will give you 4 stones plus 5 each. That's 24 stones. After that, you can try running 6 Namek Saga like free-to-play teams on the first 2. If you can, 6 androids or 6 android cell saga on the next 2. And then after that, actually, you know what? You don't need androids for both of them. Android cell saga for the next 2. And then after that, just do whatever you can in between. Whatever you can do, that will be good. When the event gets renewed, you will be able to get more stones after the fact, but you still want to get as much as you can before. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like down below. Let in the comments your thoughts on this new GDC revelation, I guess, with this event coming back. Do you think that this solidifies the theory that it's going to be Namek Saga and Cell Saga, or do you still think that there's a chance for it to be all of Z, or maybe like a triple Z arc sort of thing? How many stones do you have? Have you already done the entirety of Collection of Epic Battles, or do you have to go back and do some more? Do share your own situation in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content in the future, and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you're going to see more of myself do it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned, and remember to Dokkan responsibly.